here at the Academy of Warren have worked to get this off the ground. I'm excited. I'm proud to be here.
Absolutely, as am I, and I know you are as well. Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you, sir.
Hey, fellas, this is basically Ryan and my neighborhood. We're East Siders.
Grew up a mile away from here.
You grew up a mile away. I'm only a couple of blocks away from here as well. I hated to see Eastland Mall on my way in knocked down and stalled, but I did see who was doing the knocking down. My good friend, the Adamo family. They knocked down the Silver Dome, the Georgia Dome, the Metrodome, and now they knocked down Eastland. But I'm very happy to be here at the Academy. Can't wait to meet everybody.
Absolutely.
On a Friday.
The Academy of Warren, beautiful K through 8 school. Just you walk in the facility. The facilities are second to absolutely none, redone over the past year. And if you'd like more information, academyofwarren.net. And by the way, they gave us these
some dope
shirts here. Run AOW. Absolutely love it. I got the XL.
Also, yeah, I got the XL as well. Also, they are doing orientation today. They're doing registration for kids. So if you want to enroll your kid, enroll your son, your daughter in this amazing institution, 3 to 6 today. And so you guys come up here. I believe they're enrolling, and I think parent orientation day is 3 to 6. So bring them up, man. Let's get these kids in this beautiful school. They have 2 different wings going on. The locker rooms, they have a common area for the older kids, 7th and 8th. You know when you get in that middle school realm, you feel a little cooler. You're like, I don't want to see the kindergarten
That's
kids.
Junior high.
I don't want to, exactly, you're junior high. You don't want to run into the 3rd graders anymore. And no disrespect, you probably have a sister that's a 3rd grader. I don't want to see her. They have a 7th and 8th grade wing over there. They have a sports complex over there, a little chill, kick it area where they actually take the classes sometimes and they work outside in the common area. So just a very laid back atmosphere, which breeds, I think, a lot more kids wanting to study, wanting to take it to the next level, and wanting to go to college and make something of themselves and their family. So I like the setup. It's conducive of that.
Speaking of college, we're going to be doing a lot of talk about college sports today, including the University of Michigan football team. Angelique Chengelis from the Detroit News, a longtime Michigan writer, will join us at about 20 minutes from now, because big news over the weekend and over the last couple of days, I will say, and we'll get to that now. We'll just, right off the top here, Michigan has named its captains, okay? Cade McNamara, Mazi Smith, Eric All, Mike Sainristil, and Ronnie Bell, team captains. How about Ronnie Bell, 2-time captain at the University of Michigan? So before we get into the guy on the left of your screen there, Cade McNamara, being named a captain by players only vote, talk to me, Braylon. Now, back when you were playing, I think it was 2 people, maybe 3?
It depended.
Okay.
It depended, but like 2 usually, and 3 was kind of like the.
When I was there in the late 90s, it was 2.
Yeah, it was the same. It was 2, but then they do 3 sometimes, and 4 occasionally. Yeah. But to your point, it is 2.
Talk to me about how special it is to be named captain at the University of Michigan.
So I'll tell you how special it is to be captain at the University of Michigan. I've done everything at the University of Michigan, and I know I bring it to me, but it's to tell the full story of the question. So I did everything there was to do at the University of Michigan except win the national championship and be a captain. One of the main reasons why I went back to school is to win the captaincy. I wanted to be a captain. My father went to Michigan. I knew how important it was to be judged by your peers. To be judged by your peers, to say, this is the guy that we choose to lead us on offense. This is the guy that we want to speak for us when we're at the coin toss, or when we're at Big Ten Media Day, or when we're at et cetera, whatever the event is. This is the guy that we choose to speak for us. It's a huge deal. Now, I didn't get that captaincy. Dave Boss won, who was a 5th-year guy. Dave Boss, 2nd-round draft pick to the 49ers.
Long-time career in the NFL, right?
100%. Yeah. Dave Boss was a great individual, and he deserved the captaincy, but it's the only time in sports. It's the only time in sports that I've ever cried, when I did not get the captaincy. And Angelique, I know we have her on. She'll remember that moment. I actually got into some trouble after that, but just cried. Not in real trouble, just not in real trouble, but just wanted to be a captain so bad. And I cried a little bit. And I had Sam Sword, had Chris Floyd, had Eric Mays, and I had Marcus Ray.
Nice
couple
team.
Former studs that were on the squad at the time. They were on as graduate GAs. They were grad assistants. And they gave me the courage. They gave me like what I needed to say, hey, and I know we're about Ronnie Bell. Let's transition back to what it's about. It's amazing to get honored twice. To be a man of your peers twice voted. And he comes back off this injury last year that For a weaker person, for a lesser person, this could have done anything for your mind, Ryan Ermanni. You're talking about getting hurt on a season where you knew he was going to be one of the best wide receivers in the country. You knew he was probably going to be second or third best receiver in the Big Ten behind the two guys over there at Ohio State last year with Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. But to come back again, to fight through injury, to come back when you know you have a loaded room, to not know what to expect, to come back to fight, to lead these guys, and to get elected once again captain, says a lot about Ronnie Bell, man. It says a lot about what they're going to achieve this year. They have the right leadership. I'm excited for him, and I'm excited for Mazawey Smith as well. So much is being made, and you can speak to that.
Well, I was just going to mention Mazawey Smith because he's the guy that we talked about a lot, right? Who is going to be some of the players or a player to replace a guy like Aiden Hutchinson, a David Ajabo? I mean, we've got 3 first-round picks that the University of Michigan lost on the defensive side of the ball. Who are some of the names that could step in and contribute there defensively and fill those big holes? Well, the big fella himself, Mazawey Smith, one of those guys that so many people talk about, the #1 freak listed on that freak list, Tom Mazawey. And that's a guy that we're looking forward to seeing play, you know, in a highlighted role on the Michigan defense.
Hey, that's my favorite name. I told you guys that. Gotta love a guy with the name Mazzy or Mozzie. I don't care. It still looks too good.
You'll know what his name is
You're gonna
after the
hear
first
him.
game, right?
Hey, about Ronnie Bell. I was at that game last year against Western Michigan when he went down. It was terrible when they had to come out and get him out of that game. I think they brought the card out, if I'm not mistaken. But look at the way this kid's coming back, like you said, Braylon. That means a ton to this team. That is, like you said, that is a stacked wide receiver room. This offense should be one of the top 5 offenses. Can I say that? Top 5 offenses?
I don't know about top 5, but they certainly should be up there.
Why the hell not?
No, I agree with I agree with Tom Mazawey on this stuff. I think so much of when you talk about Michigan or you talk about these teams, you want to talk about who's gone. You want to talk about why a team won't be something. They won't be something good. But you don't do that with Alabamas. You don't do that with the Georgias. You don't do it with the Ohio States. You don't do that with the Clemsons, at least you didn't. You don't do that with Oklahomas. You don't say what they lost. But you do it to the teams that you don't feel belonged there last year. Well, I'm with Maz. I disagree. Like, what's to say they won't be one of the top offense? You look at Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards possesses something that a lot of the guys that are at Michigan right now say they've never seen before. And I'm not just talking about players. I'm talking about coaches. You look at Blake Corum. We saw what Blake Corum did on a busted ankle last year, right? Just imagine him on a healthy angle. You talk about the offensive line. It was the best offensive line in football last year. Well, guess what? Now you bring in Oluwatimi, who was a runner-up for the Remington last year. Now you bring him in from Virginia. Now you bring back a healthy Ronnie Bell. Now you bring back an Andrew Anthony, the new #1. He's coming in and he's ready. He scored a touchdown against Georgia. You can call it a garbage time touchdown, but he still scores. Sainristil, who's playing both ways, balling. So I think it's not, and you talk about Eric All, who's your guy.
I love him too. I told you, both of the tight ends. He's going to win them a game this year. Eric All is going to win them a game this year.
So we got to start
keeping a drive going or something like that, catching a big touchdown.
We got to stop thinking like, oh, well.
This ain't old Michigan.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Same like we talk about with Dan Campbell and Detroit Lions trying to create that new identity. It's no longer the same old Lions, no longer SL, right? Well, I think what Jim Harbaugh was able to do last year, and I know he lost coordinators, McDonald, as well as your boy. But it doesn't matter because they replaced them with coordinators that are of the same tree.
Yep.
And defensive-wise, bringing him in from Vanderbilt, he's also from Baltimore. So it's the same tree. Not to mention that offense is going to be really good. So let's stop talking about what they're not going to be and look at what they are. And that offense could be one of the best in the country, to your point,
And Cade said he's playing at the top of his game. He's never played quarterback better. And we'll talk more about him.
Absolutely. We'll definitely talk about Cade McNamara being named a captain and,
what about
perhaps
the other guy?
even the starter. I do want to touch on a couple of the other guys. Mike Sainristil, too, what it means for him to be a captain. I think he kind of represents everything that's great about Michigan football.
Yeah, I like that.
Just a prototypical Michigan guy. I'll tell you why I think that. We'll talk to Angelique coming up in about 15 minutes from now. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. For an award-winning haircut experience, register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the car of your dreams from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. That's right, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Go there today. It's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. It's Wicked Awesome. We are broadcasting live from it is Wicked Awesome, baby, from the Academy of War, and we'll be right back.
Academy.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
OddsTrader.com is the number one site for all your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and simply put, the best from every game in multiple sportsbooks. All the bets you want to make, no matter what the sport, whether it's NHL, MLB, NBA, NFL, you can make those bets. Also, all the parlays you want to make. What do you think about this? Will this field goal kicker make this? Will this wide receiver have this many yards? Will this quarterback have this many yards? You know what? You can do it all with OddsTrader.com. Go to OddsTrader.com because, simply put, they are the best. The hell with the rest.
That's right. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch and Flannel. We got Stick, Joey. Adam Morency is with us.
There's a Joey site?
There is a Joey site. We're at the Academy of
Where's
Warren.
Joey?
That's right. It is great to be here. Thanks. And they even brought us some hot dogs and
they set it out for us. Hey, one thing about it,
and water.
The Academy has set it out for us, man. They made us feel very welcome, very, very good. They have food, they have soda, they have juice. And they gave me the tour, man.
Look at Joey.
We got rock climbing in the background from Joey. Joey, don't fall.
Joey, you can't get one of those.
Don't fall back there, Joey, because I will
He
laugh
didn't
at
sign
you.
an insurance waiver, did he?
The art teachers just walked in the building. Had a chance to meet her earlier. Doing an amazing job. Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Talking Michigan football. Talking Michigan football here, and the captains were named yesterday. Gonna get to the quarterback, Cade McNamara, in just 1 minute. But I want to talk about Mike Sainristil, if we could. Here's a guy who was recruited as a DB. He moves to wide receiver, explosive, does everything. It's kind of a crowded room. Now he moves back to defensive back. He seems to be, to me, one of those guys you just love to have at Michigan. Yeah. Willing to do whatever it takes for the team. Really good player. Great for the locker room. Yeah. Talented guy. Just could do anything you want him to do. I love this kid, and I'm a huge fan of his.
Yeah, you know, whenever any university, any institution, you're going to have guys that come in one position, then they move to other positions, and then they become staples. I remember when I was at the University of Michigan, I can name you a couple guys. Jermaine Gonzalez, who now is the head coach at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Yep. Shout out to Jermaine Gonzalez.
Quarterback.
Hey, quarterback. They played their first game last night. They lost to Rochester Adams. It's okay. It's a learning process. But Jermaine Gonzalez comes to the University of Michigan as a quarterback, and then it's just a loaded room. You know, Drew Henson's there. John Navarre is there. Your Clayton Richards there. Spencer. So you have guys coming in. But then he ends up becoming a wide receiver. He gets to the wide receiver room, and he lends his aid of knowing the wide receiver position, knowing the quarterback position, and he becomes a staple. Zia Combs. Zia Combs is another guy. Zia Combs is a guy that came in out of Henry Clay out of Kentucky, came in to play cornerback. But then we came in to play wide receiver, but the room was a little stacked. You had Marquise Walker, Dave Terrell, who's your boy.
That's my guy.
Who's your boy?
DT.
Dave Terrell's there. The following year, you introduced Braylon Edwards. The next year, you introduced Steve Breston. You introduced Carl Tabb. You introduced Jason Vaughn. So now Zia goes to cornerback. So it's always those guys. But just because you go to another room doesn't mean you're going to make it. Doesn't mean you're going to have the same attitude about approaching the day.
Right.
Carpe diem, seize the day. Sometimes when you have to move to a new room, you don't have that same attitude. But just like you just see, Mike has that attitude. Mike wants to be the best version of himself that he can be, but he also wants to be the best for Michigan that he can be.
Team guy.
Team guy. This is what it means to go in the living room, and Jim Harbaugh talks about this. This is what it means to go in the living room and say, hey, this guy is going to be a Michigan guy. Hey, this guy can be a Michigan guy. You pick certain individuals based off what you see from them in the future, based off what they're showing you now. And I guarantee you Harbaugh saw that out of him, and you're seeing it now because guess what? Congratulations, sir. You're a Michigan captain.
All right, speaking of captains, Brad Galley got some sound from Channel 7 from Ronnie Bell and Cade McNamara on what it means to be a captain at Michigan. Take a listen.
Spot one of 5 players selected by teammates. The other captains, defensive lineman Mazi Smith, tight end Eric All, wide receiver turned defensive back Mike Sainristil, and for a second straight year, Ronnie Bell.
It's funny because like this year I knew I was going up, but like I still, once I got up there, like you just, you know, like that room means so much to me. It's hard to even get words out sometimes with those guys, man. It's just it's a huge honor.
I'm extremely honored, you know, to be elected captain, for it to be a player-only vote, and for your teammates to recognize you as a leader of the team. I mean, there's no greater accomplishment, I don't think, especially at this level.
So Cade McNamara, look, I don't think this is a surprise.
No.
He's the quarterback of the returning Big Ten champs. And we all said, all of us, if he is the best quarterback on the team, play him.
Yeah.
Nobody has anything against Cade McNamara.
Yeah.
If he's the best guy, play him. I just saw something in the games last year that showed flashes of brilliance, taking it to the next level from JJ. And I think obviously people are like, well, JJ's gonna leave if he doesn't play, and you can't have 2 quarterbacks. And look, it's not a bad situation to have. It looks like Cade McNamara is gonna be the starting quarterback at the University of Michigan. And if he wins the job, I'm totally fine with it. I guess I just want to see a little bit more. We don't have any, we don't get to see practice. We don't get to see him lighten it up.
Yeah.
We don't get to see if JJ's not improving as much. Then, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, what I do know what to say is, you check this out. You look at what happened last year. Michigan had won the Big Ten championships in 2004. Last year, not only did they win the Big Ten championship, they showed you that they could whoop an Ohio State in the trenches. They showed you that they can be 11-1. They showed you they almost could be 12-0. You know, barring a penalty and a couple plays in the Michigan State game, they could have been 12-0. So they showed you what they do. And the guy that you wanted to ball out, you wanted to figure out, how can Michigan beat Michigan State? Is this guy Cade McNamara? Can we depend on him on the road? Well, you can depend on him to the tune of 348 yards on the road. That's what we did last year against Michigan State. He's shown you that he can be the guy. He's still only a junior, and now you're talking about having to listen to all that. Just imagine being a guy that leads Michigan to their first Big Ten championship in almost 20 years, and then all you're hearing is the guy behind you is better than you. The guy behind you is more athletic than you. The guy behind you should be the guy starting the quarterback. If they played the guy behind you, they might have won the Georgia game and not got embarrassed. All that weight on him, that could easily take his mental to another place. It could take him to a place where he loses outright the quarterback battle because his mental can't fight for it, but that's not what it did. He locked in, he loaded in, and he's shown, and I've heard this not just from the newspapers, I've heard this from Insight. And I'm not talking Micah Pollard. I won't put anybody out there, but this is Insight. They said Cade McNamara has come into camp, and he's shown that he's the one. He's shown that he's the guy that's going to continue to lead them back-to-back championships. That's going to put them in the playoffs again. Listen, I love J.J. McCarthy to death. I appreciate his spirit and the way in which he's acted. J.J. McCarthy's not going to be here maybe halfway through the season. I'm telling you, because Cade's going to light it up. Their schedule is set up for him to light it up. They're going to be great. Cade McNamara is going to have to, JJ's going to have to make a decision, and I don't think he'll be here.
Tom?
McNamara, like you said, bro, he came in, he's doing the work. He says he has never played quarterback better. You don't really hear that. Yeah, he said that.
But other people are saying that as well.
Yeah. I said he's saying that. And let's put up that tweet, Fletch, from Anthony Broome on Cade McNamara saying what exactly he did say. And then Mazi Smith after that spoke up and really talked this kid up. So I love that Mazi Smith, the monster of that defense.
Let me read this while it's up here for
Please.
the people who are listening to audio only. The tweet says from Anthony Broome, Cade McNamara says he's playing the best football of his life right now. Mechanics are clean and accuracy has been good. Says he's been able to gain more chemistry with the receivers and is finding the spots in the zone coverage to place the football.
Yep, and then Mazi Smith on top of that comes out and speaks well of Cade.
Cade is one of the hardest working guys I've ever seen and one of the biggest competitors. He's been that way ever since he got here. Now that he's the starter and eyes are on him, people see it now. That's a quote from
You're not
him.
kidding.
So, I mean, that pretty much goes to show you right now.
That's why he's a captain.
I don't think it's any secret, too, that Cade McNamara is going to be the starter. As it sets up, though, whoever got to play quarterback first in the first month of the season
is going to look good.
Fair to say they're going to look good.
Yeah.
Whoever gets those first 3 games, whoever gets the first half of the first 3 games, that quarterback's probably going to look pretty good.
That's fair to say, but what's fair to say is pay attention to the last part of that comment right there by Mazawey Smith. The last thing he said, now that he's gotten to be the starter and all eyes are on him, he still looks damn good.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It's one thing when you're competing with JJ and nobody knows you and nobody cares and you're figuring out and you're waiting to the end. It's another thing when now everybody knows you're the guy. Now, everybody knows that you're going to be the starter. No matter what people wanted JJ or why they wanted JJ or they didn't want you, you're the guy and you're still balling out. You're still showing. So with that being said, you're right. Like whoever's going to start at the beginning of the year was going to look good. I just think you got a guy that's a leader, a guy that's gone through it already, a guy that he's getting better. And that's another thing. Like we talked so much about what Cade wasn't last year, but what we didn't say is how young he was and that he himself had room to improve, room and area to grow. And I think that's what you're going to see this year, not to mention he's the leader and you got Ronnie Bell back as well.
I'm not going to compare him to Tom Brady. I'm going to compare the situation that he's in to what Tom Brady was in with Drew Henson back in the day. There were people on that team that wanted Tom Brady to be the starter there. I've heard you guys say that, and I remember it back in the day when I was covering this
David
team.
Terrell was one of those
guys. There you go. And look how he got treated after that. Drafted in the 6th round. Scrawny kid in the combine. You see his picture, which is a laughable picture nowadays. He's selling Tom Brady underwear with the perfect body and the perfect family. I'm just saying, this kid, I'm not saying he's Tom Brady, but he's got that edge that Tom Brady has. He's got it. This kid has all the intangibles to be a terrific quarterback.
I have one request, and I'll have the close-up here. I have one request for Cade McNamara. On the read option.
I knew it was coming.
On the read option, you don't have to always give the ball up. You don't always have to hand it up. Yeah. Sometimes you can keep it. I can't tell you how many times last year I wanted to just pull my hair out.
But Ryan, what that goes to from, and we just talked about it, it comes from experience. Yeah. It comes from, watch this, Cade McNamara has never been a running quarterback anywhere he's been at, whether it's Little League, whether it's middle school, whether it's high school.
Then don't run the play.
No. He's gonna, Ryan, it's about growth. It's about learning how to run the play. Last year he's running the play. He's just trying to get Michigan to stay in the realm to win the Big Ten somehow. Meanwhile, you got Hassan Haskins, he's running that play too. Well, I'm gonna get the ball to Hassan Haskins.
Yeah.
I know he's a better runner than me. You got Blake Corum you run that play with. Well, I know how juicy he gets on plays. He gets in and out. I'm gonna give it to him. Donovan Edwards, you talked yourself about how special he is. I'm gonna give the ball to Donovan Edwards. If it's Ronnie Bell or insert wide receiver right here that I'm running a read option with, coming off the receiver sweep, like that's the natural process when you're nervous. Insert, here's a year removed. I know we're up against a commercial. Now you got a year removed. He's learned more. He's watched more film. He has more confidence in himself. He has more confidence in himself running that offense. I guarantee you'll see him, boom, pull the ball off and run a little bit more. It takes time. It takes growth.
Right. He won you the Big Ten championship.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything against him.
Stop whining.
I'm not saying anything against him.
Stop whining.
Just looking to go to the next level.
Okay. Even if he kept the ball, they weren't beating Georgia.
Well.
Okay.
You never know.
This year's a different year.
Right. You never know. Do that head fake for me once more. You want to see my head fake?
You got to put the ball in. Right here. So you put the ball in and take the ball back out.
Stop whining.
Oh, shut up, Maz. We're going to talk to Angelique coming up next with first a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Oh, Chili Peppers Tanning. 27 locations. More on the way. 2 right near our Birmingham studios. Well, as a matter of fact, you know who called me today? Rod Allen was actually in Birmingham today. Wanted to stop by and see us. I see you, Rod. I see you, Rod. He's with the Miami Marlins. We'll get you next time. But Chili Peppers Tanning, phenomenal place. And if you join the Pepper Club, they're going to beat all competitors by $5. And you get on unlimited tanning, of course. And you get the cleanest salons in the D. And you get to meet the Pepper Girls. The best deals in town, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters, it's chilipepperstanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. We are live at the Academy of Warren here. Today is registration day. Great partners for Woodward Sports Network. Having a lot of fun. Talking Michigan football now. Angelique Chengelis, longtime Michigan writer for the Detroit News, on the line with us right now. Angelique, how are you? Thanks for the time.
Angel.
I'm doing well. I hope you both are. I'm just really looking forward to college football finally started.
No kidding. Week 0. We got Nebraska Northwestern tomorrow. Can't wait for that. But Angelique, so many Michigan fans have been really dialed into this quarterback competition, and we will start there. Cade McNamara and J.J. McCarthy. It looks like Cade's the guy. Named the captain. Mazawey Smith talking about how Cade's the starter. What do you make of everything that's gone on at camp leading up to today? And is there any doubt in your mind that Cade will get the start next week in the season opener?
I mean, if you had asked me this a few weeks ago, I would have said I thought Cade would be the starter. I think everybody agrees that J.J. McCarthy's upside is incredible. I mean, he's got the big arm, mobile. He's more exciting. I mean, he can make more things happen with that offense than Cade can. I mean, I think back to all the years I've covered Michigan. He reminds me a little bit of Brian Grucey, Cade McNamara does, and steady, not flashy. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And I think initially with a defense that we've only heard them talk about, we don't really know what this defense is. I mean, I think you've got to have a quarterback who's not going to make mistakes to help the defense along. But you're going to see J.J. McCarthy. There's no doubt about it.
Much longer, Angelique, do you think you can go with that two? Do you think this is going to last for a while to go with like a 2-quarterback system, kind of like he did a year ago?
I mean, you're going to see J.J. more than you saw him last year, I think. I mean, and you look at the first 4 games on the schedule, they're all at home. I mean, Colorado State, Hawaii, UConn, those first 3, that gives you ample opportunity, I think, if you're Jim Harbaugh, to work both of those quarterbacks in. And I mean, I was talking to Joshua Perry the other day from Big Ten Network, and they were in this practice, I think it was a week ago. And, they all talked about, and I talked to Howard Griffith about this and Jerry DiNardo about how confident Cade was in that practice. And JJ was not so much, and he made some mistakes that day. But he said, what Joshua said is that JJ just wows you. And Cade doesn't. And that's not to downgrade him. It's just that they are that different. But he said, JJ will take chances, throwing into double coverage. He's confident he can do that. And maybe that's not what they want initially. But I do think, I've thought all along that the competition will go in to the first quarter of the season or first third of the season, those first 4 games. And then, I think Iowa's going to be interesting. You're going on the road, your first game on the road, and it's at Iowa, tough place to play. And I still think you start Cade there. But I just have a feeling after that game, things change. And it's purely a gut feeling.
Angelique, it's your favorite wide receiver here, Braylon Edwards.
That's right.
I'm just messing with you. How you doing? How have you been, Angelique?
Doing well, Braylon. It's just been a crazy couple of days with Carol Hutchins announcing her retirement and football season wrapping up, preseason camp wrapping up. And but it's hard to believe it's another, first game coming and first game week coming next week.
All right, let's go in a different direction. Obviously, Cade and JJ is the hot button topic, and we'll keep talking about that probably too, all the way, like you said, through the Iowa game. I want to go focus on something else. Let's talk about Mike Sainristil. He's a guy that we were just talking about, Ryan and I, before we had you on. He makes the captaincy this year, obviously moving positions from wide receiver to DB this year, but he's going to play a little bit of both. When I think multiple positions, when I think both sides of the ball, I think of C. Wood in 96, 97. I think of Jabril Peppers in 2015 and 2016. Ken might be one of those type of guys on both sides of the ball, or is there a side of the ball that he's more comfortable with?
I don't know that he can be either one of those kind of guys, Braylon. I mean, I think when you look at that receiver room, and I know you've looked at it, this current group, it's really crowded, it's really talented, and I'm going to throw Eric All in there too as the tight end. I mean, I expect him to have an enormous season. And, I just keep wondering, does Mike Sainristil fit into that at all? And I'm not sure. I mean, I think you'll see him on special teams. You'll see him obviously on defense. And, it's not a position he played a lot of defense in high school. He was recruited by a lot of teams as a defensive player. So it's not completely foreign to him. And he's made the transition pretty seamless. So I'm not sure that you're going to see Sainristil be that much of a factor on offense. I just think that there's so many bodies there, and not to say that he can't be part of it. I just think he's probably more valuable at this stage on defense.
Why'd you say that there's just so many people and there's just so many on that side of the ball? Let me get to my bigger picture question. All right, when you look at University of Michigan's offense, talk about Donovan Edwards, you talk about Ronnie Bell coming back, you talk about Blake Corum being at full throttle. The offensive side of the ball, I think, can be really good. The defensive side of the ball is where everyone has issues. Everybody talks about the loss of Aiden Hutchinson. They talk about the loss of Dax Hill. They talk about the loss of Josh Ross at linebacker. They talk about David Ojabo, et cetera. But the way that I approach it, and tell me if I'm wrong, last year nobody was talking about Aiden Hutchinson going into the season. Nobody was talking about David Ojabo going into the season. But meanwhile, we know who Mazawey Smith is and what he could be. My question for you is that defense primed to let a lot of people down and upset a lot of people because the defense could be better than people think?
I don't know. I mean, we're going to find out, but you're right. No one was really talking about Ojabo for sure. I mean, he came out of that Wisconsin game and suddenly people are like, whoa, this guy can be a big factor here. And Aiden Hutchinson, I mean, that 2020 game, that season when he got hurt at Indiana, I thought he was going to have a big year. I really did. But and I think another guy that people don't talk enough about from last year's team is Brad Hawkins. I thought he was really critical in the secondary as a captain of that group. But I think you're right too. I think, Mazawey Smith, it was, Mike Morris was talking about it a couple weeks ago that Mazawey has said to the defensive players, look, this defense is not going to go through two people anymore. And it was unclear if I think he meant Ojabo and Aiden. It could have been Dax. And, he was stressing that it's got to be all 11 guys. And I think that they are on board with that. And I think that there are a lot of very good pieces there and some pieces that we don't really know that much about. Is Will Johnson going to emerge pretty quickly? I have a feeling he's going to be a pretty big factor sooner than we think. And, you look at those guys up front. I mean, Taylor Upshaw, he's been talking about proving himself. Mazawey Smith has proven himself, but he's talked a lot about having a list of unfulfilled goals that he wants to fulfill this year. So you have a lot of very ambitious, talented guys on defense. Linebacker is going to be interesting. I think Junior Colson's really, really good. But, you lose Josh Ross's leadership there from last year. So I just think it's going to be really fun to watch out where this defense goes, Braylon, because I think you're right. I mean, the offense is capable of being high scoring if they want it to be. I think they can ball control if they want. They can. They're going to run the ball with those two guys, and they've got all those receivers. But the defense, I think they feel like they don't want to hear about the offense has to carry them, and they want to prove something fast.
That you bought up Brad Hawkins, as I have on a Hawkins High School T-shirt from Stranger Things. So I think that was right on time.
Hey, Angelique Chengelis joins us, Detroit News, Wolverines reporter for a long time. Best in the biz. We got her on right now on Woodward Sports. Angel, I'm just going to hit you between the eyes again. The runner-up of this quarterback controversy. Do you see one of them transferring next year? Because I heard Cade's going to win, obviously, this year, get at least a start. And I heard rumblings that JJ will leave. Have you heard anything?
Well, I haven't. I've talked to his father before. I talked to JJ. I texted him early on early this year when Jim was flirting with the NFL, flirting with the Vikings. And I said to him, is this going to affect you? And he was like adamant that he's a Michigan guy. He's going to be here. And that was a different question. It was about, if your head coach leaves. But, I thought he was pretty forthright about how he feels about Michigan. Yeah, I think you got to let this thing play out. And I don't think it's that big of a deal that Cade McNamara is going to be the starting quarterback if he is in the opener. I kind of thought he did win the Big Ten championship. He did lead this team to a Big Ten championship. He did have a spring practice under his belt. JJ didn't. Maybe JJ still has a little bit of work to do to get back into it. I'm not saying he does, but he didn't have a spring practice. So I don't think it's a knock on JJ that Cade likely will be the starting quarterback, because I think that Jim has made it clear that the door is open for this to change. And I certainly think that they're going to give JJ McCarthy every chance to gain ground or to overtake him as the starter. If he goes out this season and doesn't start, he still has a couple of years to play. I mean, I don't think he transfers. I know that's the popular thing to say at this stage before the season is even started, but I feel like he is pretty devoted to the program.
Hey, Angelique, regardless of who the quarterback is, how important, and this is my last question, how important is it for Michigan's offense to really showcase the talent that they have and not just, run the football 50 times a game or 40 times a game? I mean, that wide receiver room is as talented as we have seen it since Braylon was there 17 years ago. What do you make of that? I mean, what if you're a recruit, 5-star recruit, 4-star recruit, really wants to showcase your talent, why would you go to Michigan if they're just going to ask you to block? Do you think it's important to open up that offense and score 40, 45 points a game? Because they are capable. The only thing that's going to stop them is themselves.
Well, I guess if you're a 5-star receiver, you're looking at Ohio State and how Ryan Day uses the receivers and in that offense. But there's no reason why Michigan can't look like that. And because it does have all these options, I just do wonder. I mean, sometimes I'm thinking, do we know enough about this defense? And do they go a little conservative on offense initially to control the ball, can keep the defense off the field, let them get their feet wet, and not put them in any kind of stress, like major stress, which I don't foresee that coming from those first three opponents. But yeah, I mean, and they did show it at Michigan State last year that they have the capability to open up the offense. And Andrell Anthony, what a game he had. And I think that that's going to be important for them to show that they can keep everybody happy on this offense. I think it's hard, but in terms of recruits and who might be considering Michigan, they've got to show that a little bit. When do they do it? I mean, I don't know. You go into Iowa and then they got Maryland that first the Big Ten opener on the 24th of September. Maybe you show it then. I mean, there's no reason not to. I mean, what's the point of hiding it? This whole thing about being vanilla early is sort of silly. And the only reason I think that they might be is just to give the defense some time.
They can slay the dragon here in the 2022 season. We have not seen them win at Iowa since 2005 or win in Columbus since 2000. So we'll see if we can get that done here. I'm expecting big things. And forget about the recruits and the players. I'm just looking for them to make me happy, Angelique, at the same time.
Well, it's always about you, Ryan.
It's all about Ryan Ermanni. It's all about Ryan Ermanni.
Thanks, Angelique. We love you.
Thanks, Angel.
Thank you, guys.
Love you,
Have a
Angel.
great
Appreciate it.
weekend. Bye, Braylon.
See ya.
You bet it. Angelique Chengelis, Detroit News, longtime Michigan writer, kind enough to give us some time here on Woodward Sports Network. Always fun. We'll react to that coming up next. More Michigan football. Also, some playoff predictions for the college football playoff. Michigan, where do they fall? Are they in? Are they out? We'll get to that next. But first, a message from Cintron.
That's right. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Cintron now has combined all three of their delicious flavors. That's the cranberry, that's the original, and the sugar-free into a limited edition 6-pack. That's right. You can go to CintronWorld.com/Red Wings to get yours right now. Cintron wants to be a part of the memories. They want to be here for you. They want to put that crown on you, and they want to be here for the memories.
You want to crown
so
them?
let them
Crown them.
Hey, you want to take it back there? Who is that? Dennis Green?
Dennis Green.
Dennis
Arizona
Green.
Cardinals.
Oh, we let him off the hook.
The Bears game.
Well, I tell you what, don't let Cintron off the hook. Let them be here for you. Cintron World. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Yeah,
they can't hear this.
They heard it now. Alta.
Yeah.
Monroe Street.
Oh, Sammy, put that
Sammy,
mic on.
Monroe Street.
Oh,
get in there.
The legend killer.
Street Midway is open in downtown Detroit. The Woodward heavyweights were there last night. I was there myself, and Easy and Spencer. Enjoy basketball, live music, roller skating, food trucks, and more. If you want to learn more about Monroe Street Midway, visit deckedoutdetroit.com. Again, that is deckedoutdetroit.com.
Decked out.
Hey, Maz and Ryan, I want to touch on something real quick. You know, talking to Angelique Chengelis just now, we're asking her about J.J. McCarthy. We're asking her about Cade McNamara. Obviously, we see that it's clear Cade McNamara is going to be the guy opening the season against Colorado State, which I think is deserved. I think it's well-deserved, and I agree on that. I just disagree that an individual like J.J., who still has 3 years left in college, essentially, he has this year and 2 more after this year, correct? You're talking about a guy that we've seen when he come in, he's made some plays. He's looked like a guy that can lead a team like Michigan to a Big Ten championship in our eyes and our minds. I don't see why you would have a guy in JJ and his father. You know how these parents are nowadays with their kids, rightfully so. Back up Cade McNamara for 2 more years. You're talking about a guy who was a starter last year, led Michigan to their first Big Ten championship in 18 years. You're talking about a guy who's gotten better this offseason, who's gotten more confidence. He's gotten a year older. He's worked with all these wide receivers. He's worked with his offensive line. He's worked with his new offensive coordinator. He's working with these individuals. He's not preparing a 1-year run. This isn't preparing just to beat JJ out to Iowa and let JJ take over. No, this is preparing himself for another Big Ten championship run, another playoff appearance, and then another season next year. This isn't a guy that's going to go into the NFL draft this year. I don't see Cade McNamara as that type of player. I see a guy that's going to do this year and next year. If you're JJ, you can't stay behind a guy 2 years doing that. You're wasting your college experience. So if JJ doesn't take this job by the Iowa game, then JJ will be going after the Iowa game. That's simple as that. And this has nothing to do with Angelique Chengelis like getting it wrong, like, because she didn't get it wrong. It's a different day and age.
Yep.
Like the loyalty is there. He loves Michigan. And
for now.
Him leaving Michigan would not be disloyal. Him leaving Michigan would be the smartest move that he can make if he doesn't get that job by Iowa. So that's what I feel. It's not about loyalty. It's about, hey, Michigan, I appreciate the opportunity. I love you guys. It's not a Jordan Addison situation like with Jordan Addison leaving Pitt to go to USC for money. This is me leaving because I actually want to go play ball for another institution. So I don't think in fact, JJ does not stay with Michigan at all. If Cade has a starting job going past the Iowa game, JJ's out.
I'm with you 1,000,000% on that.
But I also think it's factual to say that right now you're a player, Braylon.
I want to play.
You've been, but again, you've been in these spots.
No.
But what I'm saying, even in the you never. You believe in yourself as a player.
Right.
If I'm J.J. McCarthy right now, there is no doubt in my mind that I am going to wind up being the starter.
That's not
right now today.
But that's not being truthful with yourself, because if you're truthful with yourself, you got to pay attention to all the equation. Last year, did I lead Michigan to the Big Ten championship? Mm-hmm. No, I didn't. I didn't do that. That was Cade that did that. I came back like he did. Did I get injured or did Cade get injured in the offseason? Oh, I got injured. So Cade played all that from January all the way to where we are now. Cade was there taking #1 reps with the team as so was JJ. But in terms of being physically available, you say this, the best ability is availability. So he's been there from January till now, not to mention the season last year. So it's not about what I think in my mind. It's about me being honest with myself. This is Cade's team. Unless Cade gets injured, knock on wood, I pray that never happens. Unless Cade gets injured, JJ's not getting on that field.
He's not, man. And it's what have you done for me lately? Yeah, I love being here. But you know what? I'm not going to stay here if you're not going to use me. It's like being at a job, and you got another guy that's doing almost the same job as you. And finally, you tell your boss, look, man, I want to do that. And he's like, but you got to wait your turn. And then there's another bunch of places that you can go to and do that job and show your wares. I want to play in the NFL. I'm not showing the NFL anything right now. I've got to go, at least JJ still got to work the kinks out. He's a kid. So you can't do that just practicing. You got to be on the field in battle.
And I think also it's about who is your head man. What is your head man showing you? Your head man is Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh has shown loyalty to starting quarterbacks. He wouldn't get rid of Alex Smith. He tried his hardest to keep Alex Smith as opposed to Cap. It obviously didn't work out because the ownership wanted him, and we saw what happened with that. Look at Jake Rudock. A lot of people didn't like Jake Rudock when we had Jake Rudock. They wanted the next man up. They wanted O'Korn, but kept Jake Rudock in there. Look at Wilton Speight.
Until they actually saw O'Korn play.
True. That's very true. Same thing. That's very true. The same thing with Wilton Speight. Like Wilton Speight, people were begging for the next man up behind Wilton Speight. Begging, guess what? Wilton Speight didn't lose his job until what happened? He got hurt. He got injured. And even after he got hurt, they still brought Wilton Speight back. And eventually had to transfer to UCLA. So you know that Harbaugh is going to be loyal to his quarterbacks. Cade McNamara took him to a place where he's never been. Jim Harbaugh has never been to Big Ten championship as a head coach of Michigan. Last year he was. Who was the quarterback? It was Cade McNamara. He's going to be loyal to Cade, and that's why you got to make the decision if you're JJ. Look, I'll ride this storm until Iowa, and if after the Iowa game I'm still not the starting quarterback, and if Cade's playing well, I love you, Michigan. I appreciate the opportunity. I now have to do what's best for me and my family.
Do you know what today is, Braylon?
Cade McNamara Day?
Well, maybe that, but it is also a fill-in-the-blank Friday.
Oh, okay.
We will get to that next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house? It tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
That's right. Whether you're home or on the road, their 24/7 local monitoring makes sure what is important to you stays safe. Call that number above my head right now. 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you. We are live from the Academy of Warren. Academy, baby. We're doing that. Get a round of applause here. Staff on hand. Really excited to be here. We'll be right
right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Ciabatta's, summer salads, and hand dip shake, all at Big Boy. That's right. Try a chicken club, a chicken cordon bleu, or a ham and chicken on a grilled ciabatta bread, or keep it light with those salads, the Michigan apple, the chicken Caesar, or the Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with those delicious hand dip shakes. That's right, a little strawberry cookies and cream, or my favorite, a little chocolate. You never can beat that.
Gosh.
You heard it here first. Summer just got better at Big Boy.
Big Boy. Hey, we are live at the Academy of Warren.
Yeah.
Want to thank them for their support on Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletcher Flannel are here. We got Stick, Joey in the house.
Can we just talk about how cool this academy is again?
It's great.
Like it's an amazing place, and I'm telling you, like when I saw places like this when I was younger, these are white schools. Like you go to the burbs to see institutions like this. To have an institution like this across the street from Detroit, where young black kids can come get an education and be a part of a system that is for them, that is showing them black excellence. You look at the arts on the walls; they're seeing representations of themselves. You're looking at the rooms that they have. You're looking at the teachers. You're looking at the work. You're looking at they have this. This is us now. This is our thing. This is how you get individuals to move in the future the right direction, man. You give them something when they're kids, and these kids they're blessed to have the Academy of Warren. They're blessed to have their professors or teachers around as well.
Amen to that. Absolutely. Round of applause.
That's for you guys. That's for you guys.
Braylon Edwards, everybody. All right, time of the day. Every Friday we do this, gang. Do we have any music that we can fire off for this?
Sure.
How about it? We're on the road, so we're going to try. It is a fill-in-the-blank Friday.
We better bring that music down a little. I can tell you that for sure.
Might be a party up in here.
Here we go. Let's start it off on, we're going to call this the Hot Topics of the Day edition.
There you go.
Brought to you by Braylon Edwards. All right, J.J. McCarthy will be playing for blank next season.
I will go first. I'll say the University of Michigan. I think he is going to see enough significant time, and I do think he is going to make a significant impact for the Michigan Wolverines in 2022 and beyond. I don't think he's going anywhere. J.J. McCarthy, right. Michigan Wolverines.
I think you're too biased. Act like J.J. McCarthy. Act like he was your son. And you were going through this, and your son was going through another year of backing up J.J. McCarthy. 2 years now, backing up J.J. McCarthy. And then next year will be 3 years backing up Cade McNamara. J.J. McCarthy will be on another team at the end of the season, I promise you that.
Which team?
I don't know, because I don't know where he's going to go. But it'd be somewhere in the Pac-12 or somewhere in the SEC.
Ole Miss will give him $1 million. How
about UCLA?
Well, there you go. And they play against Michigan in 2 years, so that wouldn't be a bad situation.
Zach Charbonneau went there, right? He's doing pretty damn good for UCLA. All right, here we go. If you missed it yesterday, if you missed the Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals joint practice yesterday, and we're going to talk about this in the next hour here, but they had a little bit of a spat, and Aaron Donald took someone's helmet off and literally played whack-a-mole, whack-a-bengal with them. He was swinging that helmet like you would not believe. So Aaron Donald will be suspended for blank games this year. Braylon.
0 games. He won't miss a game. This is called practice. You don't regulate practices. Practices, regulations are left up to the organization. So he won't be suspended any games because I'm the Rams. I'm trying to run it back for a championship. I'm not suspending the best player in the league, which is Aaron Donald. Now, what needs to happen if the NFL wants to put something in place moving forward for joint practices where they now can regulate over suspensions or anything they see that doesn't represent the shield, I'm fine with that. But as of right now, it's up to a team. And how could you, the Rams, suspend Aaron Donald? And we'll talk about it more in detail. So the answer is 0 games.
You just changed my mind because I was going to say one. I thought the Rams should make a strong statement that kind of behavior is not allowed. I mean, let's be honest. You could really hurt somebody swinging that helmet like that. That is a weapon. Did you see how hard he swung that helmet at somebody? That could take somebody's career out, at least season out with a concussion. The way he swung that. But I will say, you got me there. I don't think the Rams do it themselves. Would the NFL? The NFL can't come in here and suspend him.
NFL rule. NFL has no. Because think about this. If we don't get any cameras inside that practice, no one knows what's going on. It's business as usual. It was just a practice. You know how many things? I'll save it for when we talk about it. Indeed, I'll say 0 games, and we'll talk about just a little bit in depth what goes on in practice. Yeah.
I don't know if everyone caught it last night. Thursday Night Football made its actual debut last night on Amazon Prime. God bless you.
Thank you.
The new Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football broadcast featuring Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, and others was blank.
Rough. I thought the chemistry between Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit simply was not there. Just because they're both pros and really great. I mean, Herbstreit, I think, is really great on college broadcasts. I think he's really great with Chris Fowler.
Yeah.
I think Al Michaels is really great, obviously. I think Al Michaels, when you work with one guy for 10 years or whatever, you're really great. When you come together, look, I think I'm pretty damn good with Braylon Edwards. Put somebody else next to me, and I'm not as good as I am with Braylon Edwards.
Appreciate
it. It's just the way it is. So I think
it's
it's going to take some time for chemistry to happen. And I loathe games on streaming services.
Oh, it takes so long to get to them.
I loathe it because you are locked in.
You can't go back and forth.
There is no flipping around. Commercial break, you're stuck.
Yeah.
Time of just a break, somebody down on the field, you're stuck. Loathe these games on streaming services. Loathe them.
They got to get better.
Yeah, I think without Ryan and Ermanni, I'm good. With Ryan and Ermanni, I'm great.
Yep.
So I agree on 100%. It's about feeling the chemistry. It's about just having somebody that knows you, like the front back, same. That's why we know each other. So I appreciate you saying that because I feel the same. But I agree. It was very average. It was very tough. It's hard to watch. Like the only time I ever watch on streaming services would be during the NCAA tournament. Like the basketball tournament, because you'll have TBS, you'll have TNT, you have a bunch of different TVs going on. But it is rough. Then they do that thing where they don't show every commercial that the regular broadcast shows. They don't have that period where it's kind of buffering. It just shows you the same screen for 30 seconds or 45 seconds. And then they didn't have that chemistry. Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. The one thing about the college game is it's slower compared to the NFL game. It's compared to what's going on. It's boom, boom, it's right at you. So I think it's going to take some time. I think they naturally could come together and be decent as a group, but I agree with Ryan. Still having on that streaming service, that's not something I'm watching with my dad and my granddad.
What about you, man? You're a TV guy.
I am. You guys know I'm not a big Al Michaels guy. I'm pretty much done with him, but he's such a pro, and I could just feel in him his frustration with the broadcast. I know they made him go down to the sideline reporter like 150 different times. I think it was her first time doing it. I forgot her name. It's Kaylee something. Very pretty girl, obviously. That's what they all have. They all have great looking sideline reporters. But when they go down to
whatever
a million,
happened to Lynn Swan, man.
I know. Whatever they go through, they went down over so many times. And like you said, man, it took me about 3 to 4 minutes just to get the game on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my poor dad, he has no chance to watch this game. No chance.
Let alone your dad. My dad has no chance to find that.
Amazon Prime. Okay, you got to wait.
Now what?
Then it asks you, is it for Tom? Is it for Kathy? Is it for the kids? Got to hit that
Even
button.
Chad was like, well, what channel is it on?
When Chad's asking what kind of freaking channel it's on, you know it's bad.
I want to take a break. We'll come back. We'll finish up with the Fill in the Blank Friday. We'll get into the Detroit Lions stuff and much more. We are at the Academy of Warren. Academy. We'll be right back. Hour number 2 of the program coming up.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag out. There they go, right on the whistle. Baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Hour number 2 of the program on a Friday. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletch and Flannel. Bottom line, Woodward Sports Network here live at the Academy of Warren. It is registration day.
It is.
Here, the Academy.
So glad I'm out of school. I have this reoccurring nightmare, man. Like I'm waking up and I'm like late for a final. I'm so glad I went back and got my degree, because before I went back and got my degree, that nightmare kept happening.
Oh my God!
I noticed when I went back and got my degree, I noticed that nightmare didn't happen anymore. So I'm glad those days are over.
You ever think what grade, like 43-year-old Ryan Ermanni, what grade I could go back to right now and actually pass?
Oh, sir, I got you. Me and you, the same one. Nothing past 6th grade.
I was going to say 5th.
Exactly.
I was going to say 5th.
We can go back and put in some work and pass.
I mean, if you put in the work.
But I'm talking about no work.
Yeah, no work, just show up and do the work.
Yeah. What was the TV show? Are you smarter than 5th grade?
Right.
5th grade.
Yep.
Fifth,
That's why I
grade.
said 5th.
Yeah, 5th, 6th grade.
We're going to continue on here with our fill in the blank.
They teach it differently now.
Right.
They teach class differently. Math is taught a little bit differently.
I barely can do my
They don't have some
I
things
can't
that we
help
have.
my kids with their homework.
Listen,
I can't.
last year, my first grader, she's now going to be in 2nd grade.
She have fractions?
I didn't know how to teach her to do it. She was telling me how to do her homework.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy. Because they do teach it differently. I said, well, here's the answer. She said, no, you got to show how you get the answer.
Plus, we forgot.
I said it's the right
That's
answer.
the biggest thing, man.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's continue on Fill in the Blank Friday. Here we go. Lions edition, we switch it to now. Here we go, boys. The Lions will keep these 2 bubble players this season because they get down to 53 by Tuesday.
Kennedy and Lucas, but I need Lucas to not be as loud. Like, you gotta make some plays.
Chase Lucas.
I like the talking. I like the aggression. You saw what he did against the coach. You said, "You're a little boy. You're not a grown man. You're a little boy." I love all that. I love that. But when you do that, you got to back it up. You got to make plays. You got to make tackles. Like, I saw all that talking that he did against the coach, but then I looked at the stat sheet and I didn't see his name anywhere by tackles, false fumbles, recoveries, anything of that nature. But I do like his aggression. I think Lucas and Kennedy are my bubble players to make it.
All right.
All right, Kennedy and number 84 for the Detroit
You just took
Lions.
my guy.
I forgot
Shane Zylstra.
I
love him.
I can't pronounce his name, but the guy that wears the 84 for the
Shane
Lions.
Zylstra.
Herman Moore.
He's going to make the team. Good player.
Okay, I like that.
He's going to make the team.
Man, so now you got to pick 2 more guys.
I got 2 more. I'm going to go with, Tom Kennedy, obviously, and Khalil Pimpleton. I think somehow, some way, he's going to make this club.
No.
All right, fine. I'm hoping he does. How about John Kaminsky?
There you go.
All right,
There
let's
you go.
go with John Kaminsky.
John Kaminsky, he might start.
He's a battler, man.
He might start John Kaminsky.
He's a battler. How about the kid that runs back all the kickoffs?
I should say Blau for bubble players.
That's true. This is
Dave
true.
Blau.
What do you say, Maz?
How about the kid that runs back all those kickoffs? Number 15.
He's the USFL player.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him. Number 15, I think his number is. Let me look. Number 15. Let's see, number 1. There he is, Maurice Alexander. Maurice Alexander. Mo. I hope he makes it. I want all of them to make it. I don't want to see the turd coming.
I hate it.
All right, here we go. The Lions will upset blank and blank this season.
Dallas and New England.
Okay.
Dallas and New England.
I
2
got-
road games.
I got Dallas in themselves. I got Dallas in themselves. I'm watching a little bit more. I'm nervous. I don't know about that 7 games I gave them, man. I'm thinking more along the lines of 5. So I think they'll upset Dallas and what Dallas has going on, who I can't wait to talk about when we do Around the NFL. But then also I think themselves, because I think they're starting to believe the hype, and they want 8 to 9, but I think 5 is where they're going to roll at.
I think they're going to upset the Philadelphia Eagles in week number 1.
Oh, my God.
I think that's a lock, actually.
I love them in week.
That is a lock.
Listen, man, it's 4 points. That spread should be a touchdown at least.
Yep.
It's 4 points to sucker you guys into betting on the Detroit Lions. I'm telling you, they're going to get blown out. The Philadelphia Eagles are the real article.
How much you want to bet on that game?
Offense and defense, nothing. We don't have
I'll
to
bet you lunch at Birmingham Roast.
That's fine. We can do lunch at Birmingham Roast. That team is a real team, and I just can't wait till game 1's over with, so where you can see what a real team looks like. The Eagles are for real. I got
Save the tape.
I know that.
Save the tape. They're a real team. If you know that, they're a real team. The Detroit Lions, we don't even know what their defense is going to be like. They can't even stop a cold right now.
I didn't say they're going to beat the Bills on Thanksgiving.
But you said they're going to beat the Eagles, who is a team that a lot of people have sneaking into the NFC Championship.
I think the one game that I'm confident that the Detroit Lions will win is the opener against Philadelphia.
Well, it goes back to what I said. You said, who will they upset? I said the Dallas Cowboys and themselves.
Yep, there you go.
And my other game will be the Vikings at home. They will beat the Vikings at Ford Field.
I don't think they beat them last year at Ford Field.
Yeah, but they're going to be an underdog, so it counts as an upset.
That's true.
All right. You want another fill in the blank, or you want to move on to the Lions?
I just don't know.
We got 2 more.
All right.
I just don't know how you guys got them beating the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right. Last night, Trey Lance played, and he did not look good against the Houston Texans. Trey Lance will be a blank for the 49ers this season.
A step back.
From Jimmy G.
He'll be a step back. You know, listen, Trey Lance is an individual that can run. He can throw the ball. He has a cannon. He's fast. He's mobile. He's young. I get all the intangibles. But you got to go out there and prove it. Just because you have a team in place doesn't mean you're the guy that's going to lead those guys into the future. You're the guy that can go out there and make the difference. Jimmy G was a lot of things, man. Jimmy G was a lot of things, and a lot of them were actually good things. I don't think he got the just due that he deserved out there. Everything's, well, you don't win games because of Jimmy G. You lose them. Jimmy G didn't lose a lot of games when he was out there. He did the things necessarily to win games, to go to NFC Championships, to go to the Super Bowl. He did the things necessary. Trey Lance, it's not just easy to plug and play. It's got to take some time. It's a run game that they got out there, but also you got to see what he can do. How can he get the receivers involved? How can he get George Kittle involved? It's going to be a learning curve for him, not to mention the run game influencer. He's gone.
Kind of reminds me of the Michigan quarterback situation, right? I mean, Trey Lance and JJ, and then Jimmy Garoppolo and Cade McNamara, right? I mean, Trey Lance, a flashy number 3 overall pick, and Jimmy G, this also ran guy that just does enough to get you to the Super Bowl. Right?
Hey, I'm betting on Shanahan.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Jimmy G will be a stud for the San Francisco 49ers.
Trey Lance?
Yes, that's what I meant. Trey Lance.
I think he'll be a stud, but you're talking about this season.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take it'll take a second to click. I think he will be good, but not this season. I think this is going to be a growing pain type season, and you'll start to see a lot of running game with them, and depending on their defense. But he will be special, just not this year.
All right, last one for Fill in the Blank Friday. Patrick Beverley, it looks like he is going to be traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for peanuts, actually. I don't know, how did he get on the Jazz? Wasn't he a Timberwolf?
They traded him right after the season.
Right after the season. Yeah. All right, so Patrick Beverley will blank the Lakers this season. Patrick Beverley will blank the Lakers this season.
Play for him, be a decent player, but he's not going to turn the Lakers into a playoff team.
He said back in May, if the Lakers had me on their team, they'd be in the Western Conference Finals.
They don't have anybody that can shoot. They have no shooters on that team. They don't have anybody that can score the basketball. I mean, LeBron and AD, but they don't have anybody that can spot up and shoot. You don't win championships without a guy that can shoot.
How about him and Russell Westbrook too? Bray, it's your turn.
Yeah, I put enhance the Lakers this season. I think he's going to enhance them. You look at a guy like that that's fearless. He's going to approach the game with a lot of animosity, a lot of anger. He's going to get those guys going. Because here's where I say, He plays tremendous defense. He can shoot at times. He knows how to give those Draymond speeches, get guys going. See, LeBron's going to buy into that. LeBron's not dumb. LeBron's excited to have him here. And you can't tell me if LeBron's buying in, Russell Westbrook's not going to buy in as well. Russell Westbrook has no choice to buy in this year, because if Russell Westbrook doesn't buy in this year, this is it for him.
Yeah.
This is it for him. I know he's making 47, but he'll be making 47 at home. Okay? He's got to buy in because LeBron's going to buy in. And by him buying into what Patrick Beverley's bringing, the aggression, they need that aggression. It's just like the Red Wings. The Red Wings were a soft organization, and then when they went out and got Chelios, and then when they got into the fight with the Avalanche, and then when the grind line fight happened, and then when D-Mac sauced Claude Lemieux, they took that next step to be an angrier team. Now, they still were a finesse team, the Red Wings were, but you weren't going to mess with them because they had guys that could fight. I think that's where he'll bring that element of, there's still going to be finesse AD and Russell and LeBron, but he's going to add that pit bull mentality, and I think it's going to rub off on some guys.
Hey, I hope they still suck. You know, I like Patrick Beverley. I love what he did with the Timberwolves last year. I love when they won that I'll call it the wild card game, the play-in game, the way he was going crazy. I love that in a player. But I hope the Lakers fall on their asses again. Andrew Jonah, our boy at Woodward Sports, tells me last year the Lakers are going to stink and not make the playoffs. He tells me still they will stink and not make the playoffs again this year. I hope he's right.
In Jonah, I trust.
Yes.
We're going to take a break, come right back. Lions preseason game number 3 happens on Sunday. We're going to get to that game. What are the big storylines left with this football team? How many starting jobs on defense are up for grabs? How many roster spots are there? We'll get you the latest with the Detroit Lions. But first, the message from Gypsy Vodka.
Hell of a place to do an alcohol ad, but yeah, here we are, though. Gypsy Vodka. The official drink of the summer is here and is the Mulligan. Talking about the Mulligan from Gypsy Vodka. Mango, iced tea, lemonade are the flavors. You can drink it on the golf course with your boys, going, having around, getting after a little bit. You can drink it at home while you're barbecuing, kicking it, chilling. An 8% alcohol seltzer. It is 8%, so be careful with it, but it does taste delectably smooth. It is really good, ladies and gentlemen. Try it. The Gypsy Vodka Mulligan by Gypsy. But if you're going to drink responsibly.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991, yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
All right, we're here at the Academy of Warren. Summer's almost over, and it's time to get back to school, you kids. So if you haven't enrolled your child anywhere yet, look no further than the Academy of Warren. Join us today, that's right, 3 to 6 for a carnival right here at Parent Orientation, while the bottom line, that's us, broadcast live right here. Enjoy games, barbecue, rides, and register for school year right here on the spot. Come see why the Academy of Warren. Come see what they're all about, Joey.
It is Joey, and we are live here from the Hawk Fest Academy of Warren. Students, make some noise. Come on.
Yeah! Whoa! Yeah!
And this would not be possible if it wasn't for our boy, Chief Academic Officer, Mr. Kearney.
There he is.
We're here finally.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. I'm glad you guys are here.
That's
Woodward
Cuzzo over
Sports,
there.
Here for the Hawk Fest, orientation, carnival, all the above. We want to enjoy, bring the family out, meet the teachers, meet you guys. So we're glad you guys are here.
And what's this mean for you, obviously? This got to be a proud moment because of all the changes that have been made here, and that's all thanks to your leadership.
This is a big movement, man. We've been working on this project for over 4 years, and now you get to see the results from that. From the renovation project to the new staff, everybody. So this has been a blessing.
And before we go back to you, Ryan and Braylon, the kids wanted to bust some dance moves real quick. So I'm going to step out the shot and let y'all do your thing. Go ahead. Come on.
What we got? Y'all got to do
We
something,
got any
though.
music or anything we can play for the kids?
Hit the
Gotta
gritty,
give them
though.
some
Hit the
music,
gritty,
give them
though.
a
Okay.
beat.
There we go.
Come
There we
on
go.
now.
There we go. There we go. There's some music on. I see y'all out here, though.
Academy of Warren. Academy. Great stuff. Joey, great to see you. Great to be here, Mr. Kearney. Absolutely. That is so great. Just a wonderful event out here today, Braylon Edwards, and so much. Don't you get a little bit of a youthful feel when you walk into a place like this?
Oh, definitely do, man. I would have preferred them to do some math equations, man. They're very intelligent kids over here. But no, it's great, and you hear Mr. Kearney talk about.
Well, summer vacation's still going on now.
Yeah, I feel that, but guess what? That's over. It's time to get focused. Time to get serious. But just thinking about where this all began, this used to be Farmer Jack's for a long time, then it turned into something else. Then they had to, to get the money, to pull the money, to get the resources, to get the donations, to clean all this stuff up, to clean everything around it. I mean, just look around it, to see like what this looks like, man. This is amazing, and once again I keep talking about it. It's great to see, and I think you're gonna hear a lot of names coming out of the school, do a lot of good things, man, in the community for years to come.
I think we're in the cereal aisle, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember this place.
Oh,
I think we're in the cereal. Yeah, Farmer Jack's saving time.
Guys, I want to talk a little Detroit Lions. They will be on the road at Pittsburgh on Sunday, 4:30. That's the CBS national game.
That's the last game.
It is the last game of the preseason. Cut downs go from 80 to 53 players by Tuesday. What is going to happen with those fringe guys? Dan Campbell talked about that earlier today. What is the evaluation on the guys at the back end of the roster? What do they need to do? Here's Dan Campbell earlier today.
Give us the most bang for our buck on special teams, plays a lot into it. And so that's why I say, like, there's going to be some guys here potentially, I'm looking for a couple of guys on special teams to really, I want to see them light it up. And if they do, it may not have anything to do with how good somebody does on offense or defense. Like, if they show up the way I think they can on special teams, they're going to earn a spot. So
just a point about what Dan Campbell's saying here. So he said, the intent of this game is obviously to get the ones out there in the first half. But in the second half, what's the plan? He's going to try to get as many guys in this game looking good as he possibly can. Because even if you don't make the Lions roster, he wants guys to have an opportunity to have tape out there for other teams to look at, for an opportunity for other guys to go elsewhere and play. I just think that's part of an organizational makeup that really sets the Lions apart from who they used to be over the years.
You got to appreciate Dan Campbell for that. He talked about this on the first episode of Hard Knocks. Actually, I think that's how they started Hard Knocks. He was talking about, don't think about being a starter if you're a starter. Don't think about being a backup if you're a backup. Don't think about being a guy that's trying to fight for time if you're fighting for time. Just be a guy that comes out here and give us everything you have. Just be a guy that comes out here and show us what you're made of. Every time you step on the field, represent yourself. The last name on the jersey is also the name on the front of your jersey, which is Detroit Lions. So I love the fact that he's allowing these individuals to get some playing time. Even if he know they're not going to be with the Detroit Lions, he know that they gave all they had for the Lions during training camp. He know that they can help somebody else's roster. Just because you don't make a roster sometimes doesn't mean you don't have the skill. It just means that, we heard this from Derek Walton when he came in the studio and was talking about basketball. He says a lot of guys in the G League, they got talent, but if you're trying to put them on a team that's stacked with guards, they don't fit on that team. So I love that he's doing that, and it's going to give some guys some opportunities to make some squads down the line or other places. I love that.
And as far as the ones go, Braylon, we pretty much are certain who is going to be the starters on offense. We know those 11 guys. What we don't know is who the 11 are going to be on defense. I mean, even today, Dan Campbell pointed out the linebacker position. There are a lot of question marks that need to be told as far as defensive starters go. Who are going to be those two defensive linebackers, the starters? Who's going to be that backup linebacker? What about the backup safety? Those jobs are still going to need to be won, and what guys can do more for you, where you can get the most bang for your buck, who can play special teams. Because if all things are equal on the field as far as defense goes, well, can you bring me anything in terms of special teams?
Special teams is always going to be the decider when you're trying to decide those last couple roster spots on for a team moving forward, like after training camp is over with. But when you look at the defense, that's where you're going to get a lot of your roster spots for special teams players, because that defense is still in disarray. When I mean by disarray, I don't mean that in a negative way, but I mean they just don't fully know what that defense is. Like if you look at that defense, Maz, and I look at that defense, I only see 3 positions where I know they got starters.
Yeah.
I know that Ermanni Oruwariye is starting right corner. I know that Aiden Hutchinson is a starting left, and I know Tracy Walker is a starting safety. That's it.
And Anzalone, I think that's pretty much been determined by Shepard.
But what I'm saying is that's who Shepard's picked, but I don't necessarily see a starter. Like when he said Anzalone the other day, I was like, I would have played Anzalone. I would have played him. I would have played him, let him go out there and do something.
He took a deep breath after he said that.
Exactly. And we talked about that. You saw his deep breath, so that means I'm not far-fetched with making this comment. Those are the only 3 positions on defense that I know are locked in. I don't know Rodrigo, what he's going to do. I don't know Anzalone. But when the game, I'm talking about NFL game. I'm talking ones on one. I'm talking about when his name is Rodriguez. I'm gonna stop calling him Rodrigo. When he goes out there, when Malcolm's looking at the quarterback and he's staring down Jalen Hurts or he's staring down Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is giving him this and giving him that, like how is his mindset going to be? Is he going to be ready for that? Is he going to be ready to go out there and make adjustments and call that defense? It's a tough thing being the quarterback of a defense and calling those guys and getting those guys up. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens this last game, because the defensive side of the ball is going to be where you determine your last couple positions on special teams as well.
I believe Aaron Glenn will have this defense playing at their peak. Whether that peak is up to snuff or not, that's another story. Last year, they hung in so many games, yet they were ranked way below on the defensive side. The offense is going to have to carry this team. We all know that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Jared Goff's got to do, because it looks like they got confidence in him, Ryan.
Yeah, in fact, Ben Johnson talked about the Lions quarterback. I want to give you a little sense of what he said about number 16 for the Detroit Lions. Here's Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator of Detroit Lions.
He's had a great camp. He's displaying a lot of confidence within this system right now. And once again, we're trying to tailor it to what he does best. And I think that's going to come to light once we start kicking off and getting into the regular season.
This team will go as far as number 16 takes them.
Yeah.
Period, end of story. And if the Lions are, I saw a mock draft 2023 out.
Yeah.
The Lions were picking like 9th or something.
Yeah, that's about right.
If the Lions are picking 9th, well, that means this team underachieved, in my opinion. And Jared Goff probably underachieved. And if they pick 9th or 10th, well, then Jared Goff's probably going to have to fight for a job next year.
But I don't want to cut you off. I don't know if you were done with your thought.
I was done.
What about 9th? You just picked 2nd this year.
Yep.
What about 9th says they underachieved? Keep in mind, and I think we believe into the hype so much, too much. Like everybody start hype now. Oh man, the best offensive line, and oh man, the running back, and he's gonna do this. And DJ Shark made the Pro Bowl 2 years ago, and when Jamison Williams comes out, he's gonna be like a unicorn. And then you go on the defensive side of the ball, and Aiden Hutchinson's gonna have 15 sacks and blah blah blah. That defense is still not a good defense. They're trying to get there. They have a very good defensive coordinator, but it still takes players, still takes growth, it still takes learning and experience. I'm telling you, if they're finishing 9th, that means they win, 7 games?
No, I think 9th, you're probably 5 or 6, no?
Nah.
Yeah, that's about right.
9th, 9, 10?
Because there's 32 teams.
What was 9th pick last year? Who was picking 9th last year?
Wait a minute. Give me a minute.
I know. I'm not rushing
Falcons
you.
was 7th, I think.
Well, the
last
music
year.
is rushing me. Falcons were 7th last year?
I'm pretty sure they were.
Okay, let's see who is the 9th. Let's see.
I think it's a 5-6 win team if you're 9th.
I don't know. It's too much pressure right now. On the road
That
with
is
no
a lot
computer.
of pressure.
With that being said, all I was going to get to is you know what, but you have different hopes than the Lions than I do. Your expectations think the Lions are going to be 10 or more win team, and I don't. Like the realization is set in. There's not 10 wins on that defense. You can't look at that defense and tell me where they're going to beat 10. They're going to get 10 games. That defense is still coming together. They got a couple players. They don't have a ton of players. They got a couple.
Onzarike, yesterday he spoke about him. The poor guy's always hurt, and do not expect him to play anytime soon.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell is not looking. Yesterday he said, don't bet on him playing in week 1, that's for sure. He's probably not going to play for a while. The poor guy can't get over injuries. Josh Paschal is a guy that they drafted to start on this team, and he hasn't done a lick of practice yet because of his sports hernia and whatever else he's got going on with him.
Just one more thing about this, then we're going to go around the NFL, because I do want to make sure we have time to talk about that Aaron Donald swing, and I do want to make sure we have time to talk about the Dallas Cowboys situation. But I have one statement to make, clear cut, about everything that's wrong with Lions fans. I'm going to let you know about that next. But first, a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast is The F Word. The F Word standing for fentanyl. It helps show about addiction awareness. It also brings about mental health, talks about mental health illness. Mental illness is a real thing. Whether you or somebody you know has that problem or feeds into that problem or wants to get information about that problem, Sean Jordan and SMA do an amazing job of providing the conversation, of providing you information. Go to thesportsma.com. If you or anyone you know might be suffering with levels of mental illness as well as levels of addiction, they are here to help you. Look, it is okay to not be okay. thesportsma.com.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they will print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get your free t-shirt or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi. That is bigfrog.com/Novi.
Ribbit.
So Denver had the number 9 pick last year.
Not Seattle?
Well, Seattle acquired it through the Denver trade of Russell Wilson.
Got it.
But regardless, both Denver and Seattle had 7 wins
there you go.
last year.
So Bray was right.
Braylon was right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll make sure he knows that.
He's got to know that, because then he could say, I told you.
Yeah, right. Braylon went off to the bathroom. But again, let me tell you for a second, because one of the guys in the chat, and again, I'm all discombobulated here. I don't have my normal setup without my computer and everything. But one of the guys I saw in the chat a moment ago said, you know, picking 9th they won 3 games last year. Picking 9th would be an improvement one step at a time. What world are you living in? One step at a time. The Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I know that Joe Burrow is a special guy, but why can't you? This is the Cincinnati Bengals, okay? We're not talking about the New England Patriots or the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Cincinnati Bengals, one of the worst franchises in the sport.
Well, they've been to 3 Super Bowls.
Over the last 25 years. They haven't won a playoff game. The Red Rifle has been going to the playoffs fine.
I get it.
But the Cincinnati Bengals, they went from worst to the Super Bowl in 2 years. What do you mean? What do you mean small baby steps? Baby steps is for a 1990s way of thinking. This is a new era of football. You can get good so quickly, it doesn't take you 3 years anymore. It doesn't take you 4 years.
That's the way the NFL had it set up, but the Lions have failed year after year after year. This is the new line. We can't blame them now, right? Because I'm trying to become a new Lions fan.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to blame Brad Holmes and this staff yet because they haven't had their chance yet. So I'm giving them a chance. So it's a fresh start. So this is their third year. Am I correct?
Second year.
Second year. That's pretty damn good so far.
Well, that's what I think too. And Braylon, you were right. Last year, the number 9 team was the Denver Broncos. They picked number 9, even though that pick went to Seattle. Both Seattle and Denver had 7 wins last year. So you were right about that. Again, my expectation for this team is just more than that. I think minimum 8 wins, 9 wins, and I think that because I think they're better than they were a year ago. 1. 2, they get that 9th home game this year as opposed to 8 home games last year. So they get 9 home games, 8 road games, and they have the 5th easiest schedule in the entire NFL. The only 4 teams that have an easier schedule than the Detroit Lions are the 4 teams in the NFC East.
Right. And that's on paper, by the way.
And that is on paper, and that is based on last year's speculation. But again, we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Yeah.
I think if you look around this league in the NFC, Dallas doesn't scare me anymore. Tampa Bay has been riddled with injuries. I think those are 2 potential playoff teams that are not going to make the playoffs.
Really?
I don't think Tampa and or Dallas will make the playoffs this year. I think I think Dallas is a disaster. And I just don't know how many offensive linemen one team can have injured before that really affects you.
Tyron Smith went down the other day with the list.
I'm talking about Tampa. Tampa's had
they lost
3
center,
starters go
2
down.
centers and a left tackle.
Yeah, no. As it relates to Detroit Lions, and you say they have the 5th easiest schedule. Has the 5th easiest schedule comparative to who? Like the NFL, they got the 5th easiest schedule.
Yeah, based on record of last year's teams.
Okay, based on record of last year, they have the 5th easiest schedule. That still says nothing. It still says nothing. You still got to go out there and be better than the teams that you're going to play against, and they're not better than most of the teams that they're going to play against in full totality. Offense, special teams, and defense. They're not better than the majority of the teams in this league. So it's going to be tough for them, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You name all these teams, like your expectations on the Lions are that based off what, last year? Because they hung in the game against the Baltimore Ravens, who were down to their 5th string left tackle, who had none of their secondary players that are all pro to start the season, who had no running backs. See, people don't talk about that when they talk about how close the Lions were to beating the Baltimore Ravens. They don't talk about how depleted the Ravens were. They don't talk about the Minnesota Viking games. Yeah, they beat the Vikings. Dalvin Cook was injured the majority of the year. They had injuries. Adam Thielen didn't play in the second game, the one in which they won. So when you go to these games, they almost won. Yeah, they almost beat some NFL teams that are usually pretty good when they are usually at full potential, but they weren't. So
how about the Rams game?
It's the Rams. They play good. Sometimes, you know what, teams start slow, and that happens in the game. Sometimes teams start slow, and you'll take some teams that should beat your butt. You take them down to the wire, and then they win in the end because they are that much better than you. Same thing with the Rams. Like that game, the Lions showed everything they had. They showed some tricks. They showed some trick plays. They showed some onside kicks. They did everything they could. They played an amazing game, and they fought hard. But at the end, they just weren't better than the Rams. I understand that. But that defense is going to be a problem. And there's too many question marks. So in my mind, just having the Lions are going to do this, and I think the expectations are here. You got to have real expectations as fans. You don't go out and recruit the linebackers that were up in the free agency that could come to your team and be a 92 linebacker or a 91 linebacker. Talking about Bobby Wagner, a couple other guys. You need safeties. You don't go out and get any of the safeties that grade out in the 89th percentile, the 90th percentile. You run this back with the guys from last year. Yeah, they're young. They're gonna get better, but it's still the same guys from last year. You need a linebacker, and you're depending on a guy from Oklahoma State and Malcolm Rodriguez to be your guy and voicing that. The Lions are moving in the right direction, but don't move faster than they're moving themselves.
Give me a record. I'm going to give you 6 games. Tell me what the Lions' record is going to be.
No, you keep saying, no, I'm not telling you this because we've done this on. You tell me the games, and I'm going to tell you where their defense is going to struggle.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm going to give you 6 games.
No, just give me the games. I don't need to give you a record.
2 Chicago games.
I gave you those as wins. I gave you that already.
2 New York games.
I said they could potentially beat both of them. They definitely beat the Giants. But even that game, I don't know.
Jacksonville and Carolina.
Jacksonville reloaded too. I don't know. Carolina, Yes, I could give you Carolina.
That could be possible 6 wins. That's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I understand that, but when I said 6, you called me. You said that was a step back, or that would be a disappointment.
Yeah.
Why would it be a disappointment?
Because then that means you don't have another win on your schedule.
And you shouldn't. Where's the other win at?
Well,
one against the Vikings.
Well, let me
maybe
tell
one
you.
against
Let
the
me tell you.
Packers?
Let me ask you this question: if you go 0-11,
right?
If you go 0-11, Philadelphia, Washington, Minnesota twice, Seattle, New England, Dallas.
Packers.
Forget about. Aside from the 6 easiest games on your schedule, if you go 0-11 in those other games, I will be calling for Dan Campbell to be fired from the Detroit Lions next year.
See, Ryan,
I'm just being honest with you.
And I'm just
what do you mean, no?
And I'm just being honest with you. That's not fair. Like everybody you just named are playoff teams, and some of those teams.
Seattle.
Well, you didn't name Seattle on one. You said Cowboys, you said Green Bay. You said
the other 11 games.
Yeah, the other 11 games on their schedule.
Let me see the schedule.
Here, the other 11 games on their schedule. You can't beat Washington at home with no quarterback.
And no Chase Young.
And no Chase Young.
Chase Young's playing.
Chase Young's out for the first 4 games.
Washington's still a playoff team, and especially on the offensive side of things.
Wait.
Eagles will beat them. Watch them. They maybe. We'll see. Minnesota, most people have them winning this division. Minnesota, Seattle, yes, I'll give you that. New England, I don't care what you want to say about Bill Belichick and where he's gone right now and where he's gotten away from. It's still Bill Belichick in New England. We ain't some team that's going in there as like the Vikings. It'd be different if you said we're the Vikings and we're going into Gillette Stadium, that the Bill Belichick Patriots, they're a little bit different than they used to be. I can give you that. But we're a team that's trying to find ourselves. That's a loss. Dallas, that'll be a loss. Miami's much better than people think. That's a loss. Green Bay is a loss. Chicago's a win. I'll give you that. The Giants, it depends on what the win's like that day. Buffalo, that's a loss. Jaguars could be a win. Minnesota, that's a loss. The Jets, we're the same exact team. It depends. Carolina, that's a win. Chicago, that's a win. Green Bay, that's a loss.
We're going to do our game-by-game breakdowns. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you my opinion.
Your opinion sucks.
My opinion might be bad, and I don't want to use that kind of language in front of these kids here.
Sorry.
My opinion is this.
Fire them?
If you are 0-11 against everybody outside of Chicago twice, 2 New York teams, Carolina and Jacksonville, if you are 0-11, that does not signify to me that you have gotten any better.
So what I will tell you,
unless if Jared Goff is healthy.
What I would tell you is before you went on this gravy train with the Detroit Lions and, they're going to do this and blah, 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 you should have paid attention more to what they did on the defensive side in the offseason, which was nothing. They didn't do anything in the offseason. So before you made this...
They drafted the number 2 overall pick in the draft.
One move. What about the other positions?
What about Josh Pascal?
Nothing.
He's not even playing.
We don't even know where the hell he is.
Who is he?
Why are you yelling at me? It's just an opinion.
I'm not yelling at you, but I expect just like you expect more from the Lions, I expect more from you.
I think Jeff Okuda's going to be a good player.
Look at me a minute. You're not firing Dan Campbell if you win 6 games.
Listen to me.
What's wrong with you?
If they go 0-11 against those teams, I am going to be calling for the firing of Dan Campbell.
I'm going to be calling for the firing of you.
Well, you know what?
Well, who the hell am I?
Fine. You know what? Fine.
Fletch, take
I
over.
don't care. Very good. What are we doing next? Falling. Go fall.
All I want at a New England game is if somebody runs Matty Patty. That's all I give a damn about in that game.
Let me tell you this though. If they start the season 0-1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that means they would start the season 0-7. I'm sorry. If the Lions start the season 0-7, I will be calling for the firing of Dan Campbell. Is that fair? Is that a bad opinion? That's a bad opinion, 0-7.
You said that's a bad opinion? Or you guys said...
I think it's bad.
Did they get blown out?
This is a results-oriented league.
We're not winning the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
We're not.
You guys be happy with 0-7.
Nobody's happy. I'm not happy with 0-7.
You guys are happy with 0-7.
First of all, I don't care about the Detroit Lions. I'm simply telling you the truth. And the truth is, they're not going to beat the Eagles. They're not going to beat the Commanders. They're not going to beat the Vikings. They're going to beat the Seahawks. They're not going to New England and beat New England. They're not going to.
Give me some chips.
I just don't get it. Like everything has to happen for kids now. You're acting like the kids do now. It's not now. Just because something is moving in a forward direction.
You're telling me.
But look who they're playing against. Everybody they're playing was in the playoffs last year, or they were slated to be in the conference championship.
Seattle's a 7-win team.
I said one team.
Why are you yelling?
Because you keep pointing to the one team out of 7. Okay, congratulations, 1. The other 6, though, Ryan.
Okay, let's go to a break. Folding Warehouse.
Oh, baby. Oh, man. All right, the Folding Warehouse at Hamtramck and Chris Hutt, the inventor of that game, football and bowling, 2 beautiful sports brought together in one glorious game. 2 ways to play it, $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation just for yourself, Ryan. Just take a private lane reservation. We'll bring 12 of your closest friends as well. Run you $120 for 2 hours. That's less than $10 per person. Any drink you want. They got multiple full bars and over 100 beers to offer. They got to have a beer for you. Don't forget that $2 mystery beer machine. Bring your own food in or have it delivered. It's the Folding Warehouse. Get your fold on. foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Ciabattas, summer salads, and dip shakes. All at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar. All on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Winning is a habit. So is listening daily to Woodward Sports. We're glad you're a winner, and thanks for listening.
Planet Fitness is inviting all high school teens between the ages of 14 and 19 to work out for free all summer long, but you better hurry up because it only goes until August 31st. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where you can work in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere.
Only unless you want to fire Dan Campbell.
Membership starting at only $10 a month.
Only $10.
Only $10, or you can get a black card for $24.99 per month. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential.
All right, look, I'm gonna pick it up real quick, and then we're gonna finish this. Talk a little bit about Aaron Donald and the melee that was that practice with the Cincinnati Bengals, little Super Bowl repeat. This is how I look at it. I understand what you're saying, but if you look at the schedule put before the Detroit Lions this year, okay, look at what their defense is. We know they don't have linebackers. We know the safeties is still a huge question mark. We know the secondary is still a huge question mark. We still think Charles Harris is a huge question mark, even though he got paid last year. Congratulations. He had 7.5 sacks. That was more so him on the field for all 17 games versus him actually really being a stud out there. You did draft Aiden Hutchinson. That was an addressing that you did. You picked up Aiden. It's a hell of a pick. But you look at the rest of that defense. What is that defense going to do against Philly's offense? Like, do I even have to list that Philly offense? And Washington, you guys are hating on Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz puts up numbers wherever he's at. Now, he may not finish a couple games, but he always puts up numbers. Now you insert, who went there? Wide receiver. Terry McLaurin just got paid. He's there. The running back, Gibson, is there. They drafted the other wide receiver, Jahan Dotson, out of Penn State. Yep. They're going to be loaded on the offensive side. That's Washington. That's going against his defense. Minnesota. Do I even need to mention Minnesota's offense? A fully healthy Adam Thielen, Kirk Cousins, 33 touchdowns last year, only 7 interceptions. Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in the game. Dalvin Cook. And since they're not a heavy run offense, they're going to be passing the ball. He won't even take the blunt of the shoulder now, so he'll be healthy throughout the whole year. You look at Seattle. That is a guaranteed win. I agree with you on that one. New England in New England. The one thing that Bill Belichick still does extremely well. Why did they win 8 games in a row last year, Maz? Because of the defense. Yeah. Guess what? They still have that same defense. Look at the Cowboys.
I forgot they won 8 in a row.
Exactly. Cowboys are the Cowboys. Like, I don't like them, but they're the Cowboys. They still got Dak. They still got Pollard. They still got Zeke. They still have weapons. You look at the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, a reinvigorated Tua Tagovailoa. That team is going to be really good, especially with McDonald as the coach and offensive coordinator. And then the Green Bay Packers with the 8th game. If they finish that stretch 2-6, you can't be mad at them. That's a mean stretch, especially when your defense, you didn't answer those questions in the offseason. And I told you, I wanted Tyrann Mathieu. What did they tell me? Oh, no, he's too old. You don't want to keep the team young and save money. All right. I want Bobby Wagner. Oh, well, this guy is out of his prime. Although he had 170 tackles and was first team All-Pro last year, but he's out of his prime. I get that. Everybody I threw out there, Quandre Diggs, well, he re-signed. You didn't address anything with the exception of drafting Aiden Hutchinson on that defense. That defense is going to struggle, but it's going to progress better than they did last year.
Brian?
I got nothing.
Come on, man.
I'm good.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on.
We'll move on. What's the next topic?
All right, here we go.
Aaron Donald at practice.
Aaron Donald at practice.
Aaron Donald. Let's show the video. If you missed it, this is a very good close-up video of the faraway shot here of the brawl yesterday, of the rematch of the Super Bowl, Cincy and the Rams joint practice. And you can check out Aaron Donald swinging that helmet. I don't know, like a whack-a-mole.
I know, dude. Yo, he baited him. Did you guys see the beginning?
Myles Garrett. So we're back now, man. So yeah, I mean, it's very symbolic of Myles Garrett.
But it
Mason
wasn't in
Rudolph.
a game.
But it was in the game, yeah. So in the game, obviously, people bought tickets to come to that game. They're watching in their living room, in their homes, their bars, etc. You see that's not a good reputation of the Shield. This also isn't a good reputation of the Shield. I will say, you got to tell players, don't swing helmets, don't punch through face masks and things of that nature. We've had this conversation before. But people don't realize how passionate football players get. Football players are already slightly off. All of us are. You got to be slightly off to go in there and hit like we do, tackle like we do. To tell me I got to run a slant route and James Harrison's going to hit me under the chin and I still go run that slant route. So, yes, we are a little off. We're a little touched.
Clearly.
And that's when you you butthead. No, but you're right, 100%. So when you see something like this, I just need people to appreciate the energy and the passion that goes into the sport more. Because when you see this, instantly, this is the conversation that comes out of it. Oh, this is criminal. Can you imagine what would happen if he hit somebody with a helmet? Well, can you imagine what happened just playing our game regularly? The game that you guys pay to see us play. You guys know we can go out there and kill ourselves, but it still excites you. So all of that plays into the passion that you get when you get, and then who knows what was said?
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what was said in that pass? Because, the Bengals are pissed they lost last year.
Yeah.
And then they're pissed because Aaron Donald was offsides on that last play. So you already know there was some Johns, some back and forth.
That's a very dumb matchup.
Yeah, I agree.
All the teams you could practice with.
I wouldn't have signed on.
Of all the teams you could practice with, that was a very dumb thing to do, first and foremost.
You're right
Have a
about that.
rematch of the Super Bowl in practice.
If anything, that should have been game one of the year.
I agree.
That's stupid.
I agree with that. I would just urge people, stop saying criminal. Oh, this is criminal.
Yes. It's football.
No, but not Ryan, not you. But all day and all last night, everybody, all analysts, all journalists, it was, oh, this is criminal. Oh, this is criminal. And they said it when it happened with Mason Rudolph and him as well. Guarantee you, I've seen a lot of things in practice, and they were from individuals that you guys hold in high regard.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the highest of the high. I'm talking about some gold jackets. I'm talking about some guys that are great in the community. I'm talking about some guys with nothing on their records as it relates to doing anything wrong. I've seen those guys do and say some things in practice that will have you guys like, damn, that's crazy. Did he say that? Did he do that? So you got to understand how we are as players in practice. I'm almost mad that you get privy to that.
Right.
Because that's our personal space. That's our private time.
It's phone.
That's
it's from a distance.
Exactly. That's for us to get after it a little bit and really get, whatever. You know, it's not criminal at all. Should it be done? Hell no, it shouldn't be done. But it's not criminal.
I'm with you 100%.
Want to mention the Dallas Cowboys injuries? We'll do that next, plus Maz's videos of the day. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford Chevrolet. In fact, they have so many Cadillacs right now on the lot, you can head there today and drive off. Head on in today, Les Stanford Chevrolet in Cadillac, located on Michigan Avenue in the great city of Dearborn. For more, visit lesstanford.com. Lesstanford.com. Find new roads.
And a miraculous catch.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. It's Friday. We're getting closer and closer to our fantasy drafts. Getting excited for that. Listen, we got our Woodward Sports Fantasy Draft next Wednesday. So if you guys need to get ready, make sure you guys come check us out at 4:30 at the Woodward Bets YouTube page. You guys also got to make sure you get over to that App Store and download oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to check all the odds of sportsbooks right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's not forget those fun coupons. That's what we're here for, fun coupons. Listen, I'm rolling with Johnny Cueto and the White Sox tonight, minus a run and a half against Arizona. Cueto's been pitching pretty well. Sounds good to me. Oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
At Alta. Uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up? Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That is 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Go.
Yeah. Go. Alta Uptime.
Yeah, you know, we were trying to get to this Cowboy stuff yesterday, and we're going to throw it in real quick before we get to Maz's videos of the day. I just need Cowboys fans and people to wake up. Like, I'm tired of analysts, like, letting the Cowboys lose certain player, and, oh, they're still the Cowboys. Still getting a player injured, and they're still the Cowboys. Oh, they're still going to repeat because they got Dak. Repeat what? What they going to repeat? They're going to repeat making mistakes in the first round of the playoffs? They're going to repeat terrible clock management? Let me tell you what's going on for the Dallas Cowboys in just this offseason, but, oh, they're still the Cowboys. So you mean to tell me the Dallas Cowboys are still going to be the Cowboys, and they lost Randy Gregory, their second best defensive player? Oh, don't worry. They're going to be great, even though they lost Lyle Collins, their second best offensive lineman. Don't worry, I'll wait. They'll be good because they lost Amari Cooper. Oh, and their receiver, Cedric Wilson Jr. Oh, but they replaced him with James Washington, who's, by the way, hurt. Oh, they're going to be good because DeMarcus Lawrence, yeah, we re-signed DeMarcus Lawrence. You're talking about the guy that's been regressing since 2018, which was his last Pro Bowl year. By the way, hasn't had double-digit sacks in the last 4 years. I understand you have you still have Dak Prescott Cowboys fans, but you guys are regressing at an all-time rate. Me saying the Detroit Lions will lose to the Dallas Cowboys, that's only because I like the quarterback, I like CeeDee Lamb, and you still have Zeke and Tony. But that is it. Cowboys, time for you guys to wake up.
All right, time now for Maz's videos of the day.
Boom. Here we go. How about this one? A perfect snap. I want you to watch this little video. The guys are holding up a bottle of, like, I think it was maybe a Pepsi or a Coke, and the center snaps the ball and takes the cap off clean.
Serious?
Yeah, it was a Gatorade bottle, but there you go.
Wow.
Look at that thing.
I'm good. We are. No,
Isn't
y'all.
that sweet?
Nice.
Who going to the playoffs? The Lions? Yeah, join him. Both of y'all wrong.
I got you, man. 10 and 7 minimum. Look at that. 10 and 7 minimum for the Lions. That's it.
Well, then get him in this seat. Y'all two can do the show.
All right, here's your next video.
Detroit Lions win 10
Your next
games.
video of the day. I call this drink or drown. I mean, this guy's out of his mind.
What's this?
They're pouring a beer. Look at this guy.
What up,
He's got like this beer mug over his head, and his head is completely under the beer.
What a weirdo.
He's got to drink all of that, or he's got to drown.
Seriously.
One or the other.
What in the world?
These are these people, man. Look at this guy. That's America. America. There you go.
What's your name?
That's it, Maz?
Well, that's it for that video. Is the video over?
Yeah.
I can't see it, so
okay, sorry.
you're going to have to tell me. All right.
Keep going, Maz.
All right, here we go. Here's your. This is for a Friday feel-good video of the day.
All right, the best thing you'll see today. How about this, Maz? Describe for us what we're seeing.
You're seeing a gentleman that is in a wheelchair, and they have him on a surfboard.
Look at that.
And he is in the water enjoying his life.
Absolutely.
Look at that. That's good. People are good. Some people are good.
Some people.
Some people are good.
That's great. Good job, man. That's a good one to end on today,
Well, I got
Maz.
one more, 6
All right,
seconds
one quick
long.
one. Yeah.
How about this smiling fish? This is
Okay.
really cute, man.
Okay.
Look at this.
Take a
Look at these
at it.
fish.
Oh, wow.
They're all smiling.
Wow.
That's
Look
how
at
you
that.
end a Friday.
It's like the Amazon logo, just missing the arrows.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, very good. All right, Maz. Good job, buddy. Braylon, what a great day here at the Academy of Warren.
Academy.
Great day, great thing, man. Like I said, it's good to be out here, man. Be back in the city, man, and see what the city has done. I remember when this academy first opened. It looks a lot different now. I was talking to Miss Marshall over there, Ronna Marshall, and she was a student here. And now she teaches here. And just to see all the work that's been put in by all the teachers, the professors, as well as Mr. Carney, as well as Demetrius Brown. Just an amazing thing they're doing here, man. I hope these kids take advantage of it because there's been a lot of people working very hard to put this here for them.
Absolutely, man. Pleasure to be here today. See all the kids and the families registering for school. What a great school. Take advantage of this education because, man, there is nothing. It can never take an education away from you, no matter what happens to you in your life. You can never take an education away. So great to see so many volunteers here, so many employees of this great, fine institution, K through 8. Look them up online, academyofwarren.net. Awesome experience for me, and I know everybody here at Woodward Sports. Braylon, good stuff. Great week out of you, buddy. Fletch, Flannel, love you guys. Stick, MVP, man. And Maz, as always, buddy, good stuff.
Thanks, buddy.
Have a good weekend.
Have a nice weekend.
Have a good
Man.
weekend.
You always have a good name, man. Have a good one.
We'll see ya.
Let's do it.
Go Lions.
Go Lions. 10-7.